What's the latest going on with you?
I've been watching this Judge thing today.
Judge thing?
Yeah, Judge, I don't know, Kavanaugh or something like that. And I have zero clue about politics, so I don't even know what the hell was going on. I just turned my TV on. It was like on every station. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I started watching it, and it was pretty riveting. And I grilling him with a bunch of questions and stuff from when he was in. I guess he wants to be. I guess he's going to be the judge or the Supreme Court judge. Would that be it?
Okay.
That sounds right, right?
Right.
Both of us don't know anything about politics. But so I guess Trump wants to appoint him judge, and everybody's against it, I guess. So they're bringing up his past from like high school. And all this stuff, and I guess these women came forward all of a sudden. They didn't say a word until recently,
right?
And they're like, "Oh yeah, he touched me," and all this other stuff. And my God, they're going through his yearbook, like, cause in his yearbook he wrote some, like it has your picture, and then underneath it has all these crazy things or whatever you write, And he was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna miss doing this and that," and they're just grilling him on all that stuff, and I'm like, wow. I certainly could never be in that position, going for a judge. They dig up my past? Oh my God.
Well, they'd be like, "Did you really write 'Stay cool' in everybody's yearbook?"
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy what they can do to you.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of that. I did see on Facebook people commenting and different things about it, but yeah, I think you're.
So I jumped on Twitter just to see what this was all about, and wow, it's like a war going on in there.
It's a war. You got in the war room.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm glad I don't follow this stuff.
It can be brutal, man.
So it was interesting, I'll tell you that. I feel bad. I feel bad for the guy because like they're bringing all this stuff up from the past, and his family's like right behind him, or his wife is, and plus, they're bringing names up from high school, like these friends of his from high school. They're bringing their names up, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy, man. Like, I cannot imagine, if a lot of those allegations aren't true. I just can't imagine this. It's got to be crazy. But I don't know nothing about it, so listeners, don't crucify me for this because I don't follow any of it.
Yeah, it's a mess.
I just liked Trump because he was in WWE. He was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and you would think that would be a good enough reason.
Yeah. It says we got poor connection.
What's that?
It says we have a poor connection.
It says poor network connection on my side.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when was our last show?
A few weeks ago. You should just do them once a month. That'd be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I like doing them more often. It's
just tough.
You and Kirby must have got new games or something. You guys are.
Hey, don't blame me for this. You were at a few races since then.
Actually, no, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Oh. Okay, well. You were doing something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was doing something.
Well, we are getting into the fall season here, and all the big video games are coming out, so.
I knew we were coming up on something.
I've been playing Madden. I've been playing NBA Live.
With your ugliest character ever.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
That guy's so gross looking.
Well, it's my face. I'm ugly.
Oh.
So what I did was you download the NBA Live companion app for any listener out there that has NBA Live 19, You download the companion app, and then you're able to do a face scan and put your face in the game when you create your character.
So no wonder why he's so ugly.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that.
Now it
So
all
what I
makes
did is I
sense.
smiled really big and goofy, and I just did a face scan, and then and then and then I uploaded that and created a character, and I go online playing with that dude, and man, did the people react to it. They're like, "Damn, Gotti, you ugly, bro."
You're like, I know.
Yeah. So, you know what comes out October 5th?
Friday the 13th.
WWE
Oh.
2K19.
So they've been doing the WWE games the same amount of years as the NBA, huh?
I don't know if 2K's been doing it that long. I think they just started somewhere around. That's a good question.
Well, you just said 19 on both.
Well,
You
that's the
said
year 19.
Oh. Shows how much I know. Yeah, so what are you guys, 3 or 4 games into the season of football? Your team's struggling.
Oh man,
Kirby's team is struggling.
it has not been good.
Yeah, neither one of you guys are up right now. Usually you have winning teams, so Kirby's just always has kind of a losing team. Not really a lot of hope with his.
Well, there was a lot of hope this year, but Jimmy Garoppolo goes down with an ACL last weekend.
Ugh.
Terrible.
Big contract, signs a new Jumpman deal. So big 49ers deal, big Jumpman deal. He's got all the hot girls. He's dating all the hot girls in the media, then goes down with the injury. 3 games in?
2.
Yeah.
No, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Well, he didn't finish the third game, so
That's right.
2 games in.
2 games.
And everybody's blaming the porn star Eddie David.
Well, someone's got to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be his fault. Sorry.
WWE 2K started in 2012. That's when Visual Concepts took over. So, I mean, they've been around for, since the PlayStation days, but the actual Visual Concepts company took over in 2012.
Okay.
Okay. So that comes out next Friday, everybody. Run to your stores, pre-order, go to the midnight launch, stand in line,
Oh, no.
get your copy. I don't know who does that anymore.
It's rough, man. I was looking at we were talking about earlier about doing that. They got that NWO reunion this weekend in Orlando, and I really want to go, but man, we did that. I did that Hulk Hogan one, and waiting in that line it was brutal.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I can do that again.
It'd be cool if you brought your monster truck with you, sitting there holding it.
Well, that's kind of been part of the idea. That's what we wanted to do, but man,
just have one of your employees stand in line.
And then when you get right up close to the autograph, okay.
Yeah, let me take over. You were punched out, by the way, right? Good.
Did you punch out yet?
If not, I'll punch you out. Thanks. Literally, too. Stand in line. So make sure you punch out first.
Why is this stuff so funny?
So the Patriots are 1-2, and if they lose Sunday, they'll be 1-3. It'll be 3 games back at Miami if they lose against the Dolphins on Sunday, so that's not good. So we got to win Sunday. So everybody out there, bring the Patriots good vibes. Let's do this.
What?
Got a lot of injuries. Want me to read you the injury list for the weekend or no?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
No, definitely not.
I mean, this is America's team, people. You got to care. You have to care.
Used to be.
Huh?
Used to be. People move on. And then we got the NBA. It'll be cranking back up pretty soon. I think we're 20-something days away.
Media Day was it yesterday?
I think so, yeah.
All the good interviews and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch that stuff, but I can't watch it anymore. It's just I don't see. I mean, nobody will really answer questions, so it's just like everybody has all these, standard responses, and it's just something to keep ESPN and everybody busy. It's like we were eating lunch today, and on TV it said, should LeBron be the Lakers closer in the games? And you're just like, this is a topic? Like, who else is their closer? Like, obviously you pick these topics, right? That, I mean, it's just a fact. You put LeBron's name in something and it becomes a popular topic, right?
Yeah. Did you hear the interview with Beasley?
No.
It's all over. It's a great soundbite.
Somebody said, go ahead, what did he say?
It's all over the interwebs.
I gotta check that interweb out.
We've taken a day at a time. Where should this Lakers team end up by the end of the year?
Exactly where we want to.
Which is?
Where we want to be.
Where do you want to be?
Taking it a day at a time.
But if once you add up all those days, where can you end up? The future?
There you go. That's the reason I don't listen.
Where do you want to be? Where are you going to be? Future. When? In the future.
And I know it gets old. I mean, we've talked about it before for these guys. It gets old to answer the same things.
Yeah.
But, it's... And it is. I mean, they try to back you into a corner, and pretty soon if you predict, what are you going to say? Well, I mean, I think we should go to the finals. Then pretty soon it's like, the headline is so-and-so thinks they're reaching the finals, and then everyone's like, he's an idiot.
Kawhi Leonard, did you hear Kawhi Leonard's laugh?
Somebody actually sent me that because it was funny.
Oh, great.
I've been waiting for them to use that clip, the laugh clip, just in more things. But, that's the tough part is memes are so good because you can use photos, and the sound bites are a lot harder. But
yeah. Well, Jim Rome was using it the other day on his show, left and right.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it was good.
I mean, he's been in the game. He might have, at this point, I mean, he's one of the guys that's been in the game probably one of the longest. I mean, he's been around since the 90s.
He is the best.
There's a lot of people that hate him too, right?
Oh, man, I love that guy. He's great. I can't even imitate his voice or nothing, but it's so awesome. Welcome to the jungle, clones.
That's right. That's what he says.
I am Jim Rome.
I am Jim Rome. What is up?
What is up, fellow J-Concept fans out there? We're going to record a podcast next week, Jason.
That's what people are actually doing that.
It took us 6 years to get to episode 180 of the RIPCast.
That's good. I mean, got that 180 in the books.
And this is a weekly RC podcast.
I'm trying not to laugh, but I do want to laugh every time.
Do the laugh, Jason.
I can't do it. I can't do it. That's a good one. Kawhi Leonard.
J Concepts will be shipping out more dirt webs this week.
Should be Ellipsis now, the new hot tire.
Is that the new one? Ellipsis?
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
Ellipse. Doing good. I mean, we got...
Ellipse.
Oh. Yeah, good tire.
It's a fun tire.
Yep. Actually, we had... got JR just posted that they're new in his shop today. He's going to be doing some... He's going to be doing some mounting and running them.
Mounting and running them. Okay. Jason, speaking of tires, here's a question for you from Eric. Why doesn't J Concepts make a narrow front wheel for the 22 4.0? Would like to use the same wheel / tire manufacturer when racing.
Yeah, I mean, we've had that question before. And the only thing I can really say is that I've been personally waiting for TLR because I feel like they're going to eventually change the front wheel.
Great.
I feel like there's going to be at some point they will make a front wheel that's the same as everybody else's, and then we'll be on the same wheels in pretty much every car. I think it will be every car will use the same wheels.
Yeah.
Right now, the TLR is the only car that has a different front wheel, and they know that's something. I don't know if they think it's odd, like an oddball part, but it's definitely kind of weird that at this point they're the only ones, and I know they feel that there's some advantages to their design and the front end that they have on the car because of that wheel, but I think it's worth just biting the bullet and making the same wheel as all the other cars, because
wait a minute here. Why doesn't everybody else just change? Maybe TLR doesn't want to.
They don't. They
don't. Well, maybe they want all the other guys out there to change.
I don't think they want anybody to change. They just want theirs to be different.
Oh, okay.
But, we thought about it. I don't know that we designed one, but we have thought about it and considered it. But I think in general, our TLR wheels they don't really sell that well to begin with. I mean, they do okay, but nothing compared to the other wheels. And we would have to tool up one wheel specific to that car for a category or for one that we don't do that well with anyway. So I don't see it happening. What I think is going to happen, I think they're eventually going to change their front wheel design, and then everything will fall in line. Wow. The worst thing that could happen, which is when your timing really sucks, is you finally bite the bullet, you make the front wheel, and then all of a sudden they change their car. We've had that happen before. Wow. I mean, we've had the crappy timing on a couple things. We have some good timing on things too, of course, but man, there's been a couple that have been bad. You're just like, oh man, here we go again.
Jason, this one here is from Ben Howard. Can we have some green dirt mazes for Australian conditions?
I think that's a legitimate request. The only thing I would say is I'd like to see him try the green Ellipse tires first that we just were talking about. I think if he tries those in green, he might not feel. It's a possibility that he might not feel it's necessary to have the dirt maze in green. So that's just something maybe we should try first, is just running the green ellipse, and then I think that'd probably be good.
I want to give a shout out to the Australian Nationals next week. Your man Ray Mundy and Chris Sturdy are the guys to watch.
Yeah, that's good. He said he'll be giving the stock title a crack too, which is good.
And he's running JC there, buddy.
We're going to Australia this year. Never been before.
I am?
No, me and Allison. I guess I was saying.
Allison, Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Just
but yeah,
an exercise.
We're going to Australia. I'm actually looking forward to this event being in Australia. I'm not looking forward to the travel.
Yeah,
to get there. It's brutal to get there.
Are you going by boat?
Yeah. Oh.
I can't be doing that. I sound like Woody Woodpecker.
It's hard to do it.
It is.
So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to going to Australia.
Oops. Can't get enough of that.
I know. I'm laughing while it plays.
So yeah, traveling, boy, have fun with that.
Yeah, we're hitting. We got a couple events coming up. Of course, we got Fall Indoor Nationals at RC Excitement is next week. We'll have Paul and Thomas will be up there. Spencer Rivkin will be racing. Fred and I are going to go to the King of the Monster Trucks event in Missouri. And then from there, we got the Super Cup going on. And then from there, we'll be a little bit of a break and then hitting the Worlds. So for the big finish.
The big climax.
Yeah. I mean, I think actually the best and the funnest race for us is going to be our indoor national finals at Beach RC in December. But, IFMAR Worlds 8 scale, that's always going to be at the top of most people's radar.
Now, what Worlds was changing locations?
That is the 1/10 scale Worlds for next year.
Okay, it was going to be where?
It was going to be in France.
And now where's it going?
They're moving it to Slovakia at X-Ray Hudi Arena's track.
Oh, okay.
There's been some mixed feelings, I think, out there about that. I know nobody ever asked me what I thought, so they just, maybe they don't really have to, I guess. But
damn, I didn't even know you could travel there. Okay. Thought there was a war going on or something.
No, I think it's probably okay.
That's Syria, I think.
The facility there, from what everybody says, is, one of the best, if not the best. Everybody raves about X-Ray, their facility, and then their tracks. I guess they just, I don't know why, but they just have tons of money. I don't know how or why or what, but they appear to have more money than anybody in RC. I've heard that some of it is because the government is involved with their operation and helps fund their operation. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Hey, Jason, you're asking too many questions.
Yeah, that's true.
You talk too much, Jason.
Sometimes you just got to accept the way things are,
Yeah, those guys
So
got a boatload of cash. That's,
I
that's
don't
awesome.
know. I don't know what the deal is, other than I've heard that it's subsidized by the government, but everything they have is top notch.
Yeah, they wear suits. They wear. Are those guys? Are they racing with suits on yet?
I don't think they race with suits.
Come
no.
on, guys. If you're gonna wear it in the ads and stuff, at least go to the driver's stand with one on. That'd be awesome.
It would. So that's where the world's gonna be, and
I like how they come out with a car kit like every 6 to 8 months.
yeah, that's my joke. Is every time I see like X-Ray set to announce 2019 edition, I'm like, man, has it been 3 months already?
That's crazy, man. That's
Yeah,
hard to
we've-
keep up with that.
We've talked about this before, but yeah, I mean, as far as this Worlds thing, I think the facility and the race is going to be it's going to be great. It's going to be well run, top notch. Will there be a home track advantage for them? Of course.
Be a
But
lot
I
of hot
think-
chicks there. I bet. Can you ever see the chicks in their ads, like in those YouTube commercials?
No.
Yeah. Maybe I should go to this Worlds.
You could.
I could. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So that's. I think it'll actually be really neat to do it. I think that. Sure, it'll be disappointing if we go there and X-Ray is just very dominant.
Blows you
And-
out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, it's just then it'll be just like, why do we do this BS? But I think there's also that part of everybody that feels like they could show up. It's like, man, what if we do win on their own track? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's will motivate. That'll be a motivating factor for a while. So everyone, I think, will be motivated by that idea that they could go in and beat them on their home track. Not only their home track, but their own track. I think that's kind of a big deal. But in today's day and age, the results last about 2 weeks. So it's like even if they do win or somebody else wins, it's like by 2 weeks' time, everyone's moved on.
Yeah.
The next race. So yeah, moving out of France in there. What's kind of unfortunate is I think we kind of had the potential to be the control tire for the race in France, because we did one event there using our tires, the Euros, and now switching locations. I don't know, we don't have as much of an inside track there, so we'll see. I expect a good race. I just get a little disappointed about the world stuff occasionally. I just feel like it's kind of losing something over time, and they're coming up very quick now. Every year we have a nitro or an electric one, so every year we're having some type of a worlds, and it's a tough way to go. It was one thing when we had 4 or 5 races in the whole year, and the Worlds was one of them. But now when there's 30 plus events, we're thinking about
Jesus.
or whatever the number is, it's up there. And we got guys racing the hot rod shootout this weekend, which they've moved from. Used to always be in July. Now Jimmy's moved it to September to kind of hope that the weather is a little better, and because the interest at that race, it used to be one of the biggest races of the year, and everybody loved the hot rod shootout, and he used to get 400 plus entries out there, and the thing has just been dropping every year. Just every year the entries are going and going. It's because everyone's more conditioned to race indoors now, and his race is out. That race was outdoors, and I think now people are intimidated to race outdoors, or just feel they don't have the setup, the car, whatever, the tires, and So he's trying to change the date around a little bit, getting September this year, almost October. Well, I guess by the time they are running, I guess it is a little bit in October. So, well, no, September 30th is Sunday. But yeah, so we got guys running that this weekend, and I feel like it's like it was one of those races you used to get pumped up about guys racing it, and now I'm just like, we got guys racing that race. Like, because, where's Kawhi when we need him? But it's tough because it's not that it's not a great race, but when you don't expect a good turnout, but your top drivers still want to go there and win, there's bonus money on the line for them. That's why they want to go, and they want to, stay conditioned racing and keep their practice up. But when you go and the race doesn't have that atmosphere to it anymore, it's almost just kind of a letdown. Sure, when you have a race that has all the atmosphere and the Dirt Nitro Challenge, or when you run the Roar Nationals for 10 scale or for 8 scale, there's just a lot of some of these other Cyclo Nitro thing, and some of our indoor national races, they have this great atmosphere and really makes it feel worthwhile and like a good event. But I mean, I hope they have a successful race. I mean, people, I guess they could, get over there and pile in for the event this weekend. And I mean, if they had 200, 250 entries, I think it'd be a big success, but I'm expecting it to be 100, something like that. And it used to be one of the biggest races. And so I don't know, but we'll see how the guys do. I know we sent a bunch of tires over there, and it's a little bit different time of year, so the weather makes that, usually you're like, we're prepping for the hot rod shootout. We got to have these compounds. That's the other thing is we kind of have to have unique compounds for the track because we don't race a lot of outdoors anymore. So it's like there's one or two races a year where you need these particular tires, and so anyway, this is one of them, and now the race isn't in July, now it's in September, so hopefully the same type of tires work. If they don't, I'm sure we'll hear about it. So, yeah, that one's going on this weekend, and like I said, guys are heading to the Fall Indoor Nationals at RC Excitement. Fred and I hitting up King of the Monster Trucks. Yeah, good stuff going on. Got a lot of products we're getting out there the last month or two. Got more stuff in the queue here. A lot of new bodies. Got some new tires coming for Carpet and AstroTurf. The Nessies. People would like to see those online. We've had a couple races where we've tried them. We got some monster truck stuff coming. Of course, 8 scale worlds, so got some stuff to experiment with there too, and some body stuff, so kind of hoping for a good finish.
Is there a ET410 body in the pipeline?
Yeah, there is. We've added it to our list of projects. We have an idea where we're going to go with it, and release, I'd say, before the end of the year for sure. Maybe November if we can.
ST style or Truggy style?
Truggy style.
Truggy. Oh, yo, dude, I saw something up here, and this will just tell you how I'm out of the loop. But it was from Joe Zare here. 10 scale Truggy, fad or here to stay? What?
Well,
what's going on there?
Yeah, basically what the body that the guy just asked for, the ET410, that's Techno basically took their 4-wheel drive buggy and turned it into a miniature Truggy.
Okay.
So that's kind of what they're referring to. He's referring to this 10 scale trucking class as a, here to stay or not. Let me take a look here. So he's asking, is it here to stay? I guess the question is, man, that's tough. The industry really needs something, and I've asked for a four-wheel drive truck like this for a while because I felt people would support it, and I don't think that it's here to stay, but I do believe it can have a pretty good run in the short term. And the question is any other vehicle, any other chassis manufacturers going to jump on and make something, to compete alongside of it? Usually, if you come out with a decent idea in RC, it's not long before everyone else jumps on it. So, I anticipate it being other people jumping in on it. We're offering the class now. We're going to offer the class the last two races of the Super Cup. We haven't, we made an announcement. We're going to offer the class, and we have some interest. There's some people that want to run it, and the tracks we're offering it on are actually tracks that really make sense for it as well. It's probably the perfect vehicle for those kind of tracks. So I really hope that it does well. I don't know 100% at this point, how well they've been selling. I do see them. But yeah, we're going to make a body for it because we think we should have one in the lineup. We speak to the techno guys quite often. They're pretty good to us, and I think it's something that we can add, and if it helps support them and we add it to our race events and for people to try to run it, I think that we've done our share done our part to try to grow it, see if it has something in it. And if a TLR or an Associated or somebody made a four-wheel drive truck, it'd be kind of nice to add. How about this question for you? Who would win in a real fight, Bam Bam Bigelow versus Legion of Doom?
Legion of Doom. It's 2 against 1.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Yeah, that's kind of an easy one. Unless that dude is just that much of a badass.
He is. Or was. Bam Bam Bigelow.
All right, so what is our next question? Oh, got from Tim here. He's asking me about the Von Nats, the Vintage Nationals. There was a RC10 GTE, and he was asking if there was any thoughts about making those parts for production. He said he saw that he had a RIP decal on it too.
Ooh. Who was it?
Well, this is I worked on a project with Jason Santos, who raced the Vintage Nats, and we started a project, we call it the EGT, and he took an old RC10 GT parts that I had and parts that he had, and we combined some things, and he basically took Associated's gas truck, the GT, and turned it into an electric truck. So it's basically like a vintage mid-motor truck. But it actually, we made a specific motor plate for it. We made a special rear shock tower. And then I had the body painted and decaled, and that's why it has the RIP decal on it. And the truck is, it came out really nice. It looks really good. And he's in the process of shipping it back to me. And then when we get it back here, we're going to do a feature on it. Some of the stuff we've been doing lately, the inside looks and stuff like that. And then, it really wouldn't be difficult for us to make the motor plate and the tower for it. So yeah, we might actually just do that. Limited run. Maybe we'll sell it with the body.
Limited to how many you can sell.
Right. Usually when it comes to vintage, that's 25 to 50. Unfortunately, I wish it was different, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have the body, the tower, front and rear tower, and the motor plate together.
And RIP decal.
The RIP decal, they can get themselves.
You can get that over at stickit1.com, boomrc.net, and somewhere else.
Is this the part of the show where you have to promote Blue Chew?
Blue Chew. Nobody's going to know what you're talking about.
I don't know. What is that? Is it 83 weeks where they do that?
Yes. 83 weeks with Eric Bischoff.
Who called you?
Yes, I actually spoke to Eric.
They're recording an episode in Orlando this weekend.
Oh, they are?
Because of that whole the NWO thing. Oh, I kind of want to go. I don't know. It's just expensive for what it is.
That's not a problem.
No, whatever. All right, so his other part of his question was, what's the weirdest RC car each of us have owned? I don't know if weirdest or...
Never had anything weird. I mean, it's probably weird now because it's so outdated, like the Hot Shot 2.
I had a boat once that I hated.
I
got a cheap RC boat.
But you said car. RC
I know, but I'm just trying to go into weirdest. And I
B6.1.
had a boat when I was a kid. God, that thing sucked.
Yeah? Slow?
It was slow. It just was underperformed. Yeah, it's just underperformed. Yeah. But I mean, they have some great ones now, but I haven't bought one. But all right, of a car.
I didn't own this car, but man, I really wanted the Top Cat, and that was pretty weird back then.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to lay down front shocks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really nothing weird. I mean,
when I had my Schumacher shotgun stadium truck, that was a very weird vehicle. We've talked about it on the show before.
Yeah.
And I had one of those, and it was weird from the standpoint that it just wasn't very common for people to have one.
Leave it to Schumacher.
And, yeah, it was a decent truck. It was kind of like a JRXT with like a nice body. Or the one I had kind of had. Mine looked cool. I got a picture. I'll put it up tonight.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
And that was a weird car. Yeah. God, what else did I have? The other vehicle I hated was the Kyosho Big Brute. I think we've talked about that before. That was not necessarily the weirdest, but that was just the biggest piece of junk. Can four-wheel stadium truck actually become a class? So he's asking about the same thing. Yeah, I think it's going to become a class. It'd be nice if someone else jumped in it. So we'll see. See if I think it can. How long it sticks around, I don't know. But what would really be nice is if we were in this. I think the timing. I don't know. It really, I think it would be a great class for outdoor racing. We're just not doing a lot of outdoor racing. Like, it'd be probably an awesome class for that hot rod shootout. I mean, I'm sure that thing would be amazing out there. You know, we got Chris Trudeau asking a question here. He's asking, as old racers like yourself, Mayfield, Cavallari, Paul Wynn.
Old?
Yeah, he's saying those guys are old, along with us. Anyway, are younger racers like Spencer, Damon, Tater missing out on aspects of RC or racing, or spoiled by the ease of tuning, given that many of the elements you had to maintain, Gotti's specialty, motors, comms, brushes, power, efficiency. He's compared to today where it seems to be more about tires and perhaps mild suspension changes. Yeah, I mean, we went over this quite a few times, one way or another. And somebody sent me some questions recently for an interview for a website, and kind of asked the same kind of question. And to me, what I think is today, I think the drivers themselves are better. The driving today, I think the driving talent is better than it ever has been. But I think that there is some some spoiledness in terms of how much work, dedication that it actually takes to be ready to go, have your stuff dialed in and ready, and without having help. I think a lot of the kids that race today, they do have their dads or other people helping, and that's not to say that back in the day, there wasn't dads helping everybody, but it seems like it's they're leaning on that stuff quite a bit. But it's there's not a straight answer to all this stuff, because there's definitely some racers out there that still do their own work and they're younger. Even like Spencer, he can do all of his own work. And he's a valuable racer because of that. He doesn't really have to have people or somebody to wrench on all of his stuff for him. He can do it. And he's a young guy. He's part of the new generation. But and he even mentioned Damon. And Damon, when he's been racing lately, he's just started college, so he's not been able to race as much this year. But he's been doing he does all of his own work. And so it's really hard to say. I think that if you want to do it, you're going to find a way to do it, in terms of you're going to put in the work. And if a guy like Spencer was, how do you call it? Is it to be transported back to the 90s? Teleported back to the 90s?
Yeah, teleport.
If you put him back in that time period, he'd be just as successful, and he would get everything done because he really just wants to do it.
Really?
Yeah, he is not going to use the excuses. He would learn all about it, and he would be the one that would he would excel because of all that stuff. There are some people that would struggle. But I think truly, if you have a passion for it, you like this, and you want to do the work because it leads to results. Ultimately, that's what it's about. And the people that have that motivation, kind of that inner motor, they can self-motivate, get their stuff going, be prepared. Those are the ones that are the real winners in RC. If you're just kind of a slacker, slacker.
You're a slacker, McFly.
The funny part is, sometimes we'll talk to, Spencer's dad will talk to me, and he's like, Spencer's in his room working on his stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, all week long.
I was doing that instead of homework, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too. I think sometimes it is easy to think about, back in the day, this is how it was and that. And it's easy to kind of get nostalgic, or then you start to discredit people that are doing things today. And, I think there are some differences, obviously, but there are standouts in whatever generation there is. There's the standout guys that are willing to do whatever it takes to win, to be up front, to practice. They'll learn if they have to learn. And I think that they just transcend. They could go either way. It doesn't matter which generation they're in. They're going to be a winner, because they're not going to accept it any other way. And then other people kind of probably can benefit from the time period they're in one way or another. But I think that's probably goes for just about anything.
Jason, let me take you back to the year 1996. It was the I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Roar Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
A man by the name Chris Bain. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think those guys would love, like, you know how Kinwald and those guys and Francis would always tinker with the cars and Dremel shit out and try different things, and I don't think any of those guys do that today, but there's none of that today.
Yeah, I mean, there still is. It's just
Dremeling, like making their own shock towers and shit.
Do, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's still people that do it.
Okay. I stand corrected.
I'm just reading questions too, but no. I mean, like you said, the stuff does fit a lot better. There's not as much need for all that, but I still see people, you know, that have to be good at doing that type of work, and they try to do it.
Mayfield would be awesome at it, throwing back in the 90s.
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing he would struggle with was his patience.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have a lot of patience for that kind of stuff. But if you told him this had to be done, and then this will make you go faster, and I mean, he would do it. But, you know, but he's a master at taking a 3-hour job and making it a 15-minute job. He'd be like, before you finish explaining what you got to do, he'll have it done already.
Oh, it's done. Done.
Yeah, I'm done. I was at his house one time. We were going to go practice out at the old SRS, and this was like after a race, and he's like, it's like, yeah, we need to go. We're going to go run tomorrow at SRS. We're going to sugar the track, and, you know, we can go try it out. And I'm like, so what do we got to do to get ready? He's like, oh, I got to build a car in the morning. I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, I got to build a car.
Damn.
I'm like, the whole thing? Like, you know, like,
yeah, man.
Starting from scratch, or
Are you already almost done? You got 90%? What?
Yeah, I mean, I think he started at like 8 a.m. and he was done by noon. You know, it's
Jesus.
Like, you know, car was done, tires were mounted, electrical installed, body was on it, wing done. It's like, all right, let's go.
Crazy.
So we got Bradley Allen asking, would you rather have a new facility put carpet in or AstroTurf? You know, you would think I'd have a pretty good answer to this.
But I don't.
Well, you know, Beachline, which is our local track, they're all AstroTurf. And they've really had it they've had it, are they coming up on 3 years? Might be coming up on 3 years. They've had the same, well, essentially the same AstroTurf. And it's worn a lot. It's, you know, they've got some patchwork and different things, but
you get 3 years out of that. I didn't think you would get that.
Not bad. Yeah, it's been doing pretty good at. I think also, and you know, I think that if you get good carpet, it'll last, you know, a decent amount of time too. But I can't really say if I like carpet or AstroTurf better. I think I think carpet is better. I think it looks a little better. I think it's maybe a little cleaner. AstroTurf, I think it's not as good instantly as carpet is. AstroTurf, you have to kind of wear it in a little bit, get a groove going. Because it's tall, you have to kind of lay those fibers over and kind of get some running on it. At first, it just feels like you're, you know, kind of running in the mud. Like, you know, you can let off the car and it like drags down because you're in this turf. But, you know, as it breaks in, it gets good. But carpet seems like it's good right away. it's probably a little more fierce racing on carpet. I think there's less give. It's a little more like on road. And I could see actually racing one-on-one with another driver, it being tougher to race on carpet versus AstroTurf. You might be get into each other a little easier, but that also has to do with the size of the track. So, yeah, I mean, I think carpet's probably the way to go.
If you had to choose between those two, what would you? But would you rather off race on dirt or carpet or turf?
Yeah, here's the standard answer. I think is if you have the ability to get good dirt, you run dirt. If you don't have the ability to have good dirt, then you have to go with carpet or AstroTurf. I think that's the new standard. I think because not everybody has the OCRC, Trackside Hobbies, Beach RC, whatever, what track you want to name that has the good dirt. Not everybody has the ability to get that dirt. And I mean, that stuff works really well. And that's today's off-road racing, or dirt is those kind of surfaces. But if you can't get that kind of dirt, then you kind of have to look for other options. Like in Vegas, you can't get good dirt, so their track is carpet. It makes sense. Even in Florida, we struggle for good dirt indoors here.
Really?
We can put red clay inside, but it doesn't react without a lot of maintenance. When Beachline first took over, they maintained the track like a West Coast track, and it was great. They were watering it, they were misting it, keeping it a little bit moist. I remember Paul and I were going down there racing. We were running like gold compound indoor tires. It was great. Like that was my favorite experience between all the two ownerships they had there and all the conditions we've experienced. That was by far my favorite when we were doing that. Then they sealed the track. They made it so you had to run rubber tire slicks, and to me that was the worst. I didn't like that at all. Now they're on AstroTurf, which it's not my preference, but I think it works pretty well. And they're consistently getting turnouts, so I think it's working for them. At some point it's going to wear out and they're going to have to make another decision. Will they want to put more in, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they'll try carpet. I don't know, but it's expensive, so that's kind of the issue. But yeah, if you can get the good dirt, you go with dirt. If you can't, then you have to look for something else. And people are just they're just tough to please. And
no.
And
really,
I mean, we there's a good track that's not far from us called Setzers. We had a Super Cup there, and it's covered, but it's like basically like an outdoor track, but it's got a cover over it, and they put in a brand new layout. And anytime you put a brand new layout in, of course it takes a little while to get some rubber put down and get the traction up. And I went out there, and I think me and Paul and Lee and the guys were racing, and first time on the new layout and the track, and it's like, we were fine. We ran whatever tires worked in that condition. I think we were running reflexes or something, but there was people that they ran like a qualifier and left because they didn't have enough traction. And I'm just thinking, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But they're really picky. They want it to be, it has to work for what they have with them. And, it's just like, And it's like, hey, this is kind of part of it. So I don't know. It was just a weird experience that would happen. And it's like, hey guys, and if people aren't new, it's like, hey, you kind of have to see that the track's going to progress here. It gets a little better. And then by the time, the mains roll around and next time you come, it's going to be, all the traction's going to be there again. But it takes a little while. But anyway, so you got to deal with that in RC2, where it's like people, they have to adjust on the fly or change something and deal with a track not having traction. People are just less patient for that. Now it's like they go out there the first run, they're just like, oh, I need to have 100% traction right away.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yep, it's true.
Just do what you want to do, and that's what you do. Will two-wheel drive stadium truck ever make a comeback? I think we've talked about this one before.
Mm-hmm.
I sure wish it would.
Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know. If I had to say, I would say no. I think the best chance for the trucks is maybe this four-wheel drive truck class.
Yeah.
I think that might be, the best thing. That might be the best hope for truck, I guess you could say.
What, four-wheel drive?
Yeah.
So two-wheel drive's out, huh?
I don't know. It just seems like it is. I mean,
why is it?
My personal thinking is, I remember when I used to love truck when I got into RC, and they worked very well. They were easier to drive, and I think they felt like they had more traction to me, and they were easier to drive because of that. And as the trucks have progressed along with the buggies, they don't work as good. They're just not quite as good as the buggies are. And I think that's part of it. Like a few years ago when we did that Vintage Nationals and I ran the RC10T.
Yeah.
I liked running the truck again there because with the rear motor and the way those trucks were built, they had rear traction. And you could drive it into a sharp corner or a 180, and you could slide it if you wanted to, do a little counter steering. And now if you try to do that with a stadium truck, it just spins out.
Oh.
Like you kind of have to drive it a little differently. And then I guess this comes back where people want to have the traction.
Yeah. So four-wheel drive would be it.
Yeah, that's where the traction is a four-wheel drive. And so I think what could happen potentially is short course will be, well, it already is becoming it's still an entry-level class or a good RC car to buy to get started in RC, but there's not a lot of stadium trucks you can buy to get into RC besides like a Rustler, but which is a good selling truck, but it's not really a track vehicle. So I don't know. I kind of see short course racing, hardcore short course racing, and stadium truck racing maybe not doing very well. But, if we have some hope, maybe this four-wheel drive truck class could work out. I don't know. I think there is an aspect to a lot of this stuff that it needs to look like, I don't know. Right now, the scale thing is so big in RC that I think that's where the racing side of it is a little different because nothing looks like a real vehicle. And the hot segment in RC right now is scale vehicles and wanting to be scale. And all the racing vehicles don't look like anything scale. So
a hard sell.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to get people interested in it because when they can buy anything out there, you can get anything you want now. There's a vehicle, body, a class. So, if you're like, hey, I want an RC car, you're probably not going to reach for the one that looks like a moon buggy. You're gonna like, all right, well, I'm gonna get this old truck, this old vintage truck, or I'm gonna get this. That's just.
Yeah. It's weird. I never thought of it like that back then. I was just like, oh, that's cool looking, I just never thought, like, that truck looked weird, like a stadium truck. I was just like, looked fine by me. I didn't care if the wheels were exposed like that or whatever. It looked cool. I don't know. It looked badass to me. But, hey, whatever. I understand what you're saying about today, though, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough market.
Jason's opinion on separating classes at nationals, example buggy nats, truck nats, leading to an overall national champ. From Randy Pike.
So I guess what he's saying is that if there was 2 races and there was one race that was all buggies and then another one that was all trucks.
Yes, sir. No.
I don't know. I don't know if that is really the answer or not. Back in the 90s, there was 2 nationals. We had a buggy nationals and we had a truck nationals.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because we had the entries to support each one of them.
Yep.
And at the time, truck was so big that it could have a 400 entry. We could have a 400, 500 entry truck nationals. And I mean, that was probably some of my best memories of my early nationals were racing truck nationals. And yeah, it was great. But then when they came back and they moved them together, ooh, man, night time.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
But when they went and they put the classes back together, it was also at a time when they weren't getting as many entries. So, they couldn't really have 2 separate events and have, 200 entries at each race. So it made more sense to have one 300 or one 400 entry race. Back then when we were doing it, we had 400 entries at the buggy nationals or 500 and 400 or 500 at the truck one. So they were big success. So, I don't know if having these overall champions and all that type of stuff, how much all that people would really care for that at the roar level. Of course, we do that on our national series, but I don't think it really matters to people if their points were combined between buggy and truck. I think people like the idea of having points in deciding an overall champion for, say, buggy and then truck separately, but I don't know if putting them together makes it any more appealing. Maybe as sort of a fun thing, say, hey, but at the end of the day, we have so many different events, so many different races. They're all broken down, different ways, and 20-minute mains and 30-minute mains, 45-minute mains, 60-minute mains, ladder systems, IFMAR, start all at once, Supercross start. We have all these different things, and they're just all kind of gimmicks in a way. There's some people that say we need to start all of our qualifiers all at once again. Go away from IFMAR start.
Yeah, that's me.
Start all at once. And I usually say, sure, it sounds good to people that have never raced like that. I would be so funny to go through a whole year where everybody started at once.
You got to run a
all their
race like that.
qualifiers.
Yeah, you got to do a race like that.
People, I mean, they complain now when they get taken out in a main.
Yeah, you
They
imagine.
had no clue what it's like to get taken out in qualifiers.
It'd be
At the
great.
start of stuff. I mean, people, I don't think they can deal with it.
Yeah, probably not today's generation. No, I don't think
I
so.
mean, with social media and everything
Oh
else
my
now, it
God.
would just, people's, certainly there would be some results that helped, could help people because,
Yeah.
sure, you're going to have those moments where you get out front, you have a decent race and you have a good qualifier or whatever. But what I see is people just getting into more crashes and being more frustrated and blaming it on other people. That's what I think what really would happen.
I think they should really go back to that for certain races. Like, I know I'm going to catch some heat for this, but for a race like Motorama, where there's a bunch of people watching that have no clue about RC. I've been in the stands there watching, and people are like clueless of what's going on with that IFMAR qualifying system.
Oh yeah.
They just want to see cars, and I understand like you don't want to wreck your car and stuff, but they want to, that's what they want to see. So you know what? They used to do that. I mean, early on in Motorama days, it was just qualifying was just everybody go, and the crowd loved it.
I think that would be one of the toughest things for people. Going back to, I think it was Chris Trudeau saying about the difference, having it easier and harder in the different eras. But that would be one tough adjustment for a guy like a Spencer or these guys where, okay, now every qualifier you start heads up in a different place on the grid.
Yep.
And the other part to that they never experienced was racing outdoors when the track was different all the time. So not only, you're mixed up on the grid, your starts are dependent on other cars as well as you. But now you might get your better starting position, front row, which still not really a guarantee, but say you get your front row starting position and the track is slow. So you put a guy like Spencer on the front row and he's like, "Oh, this is my moment."
Mm-hmm.
And he puts in a great qualifier and he goes and looks at the time and go, C main run. Oh, sweet. Because that's how it was back then. Like, if the track was good, of course, racing outdoors, the track condition means everything in speed, and they didn't have qual points. So it was only rocket round. So there was more of that factor. Anything could really happen. And I don't know if people would be prepared for that.
Probably not. No.
Because, they would, launch into their, I spent all this money to come to this race and I only have one shot to make the main and the track was slow and then I got taken out and every other race. That's what that's what I hear what would happen to me is that's what I would see is people not being able to adjust to that. And you know what? I went through it and I didn't like it. When they went to IFMAR start in Lake Park at Tampa, I was just like, this is the best thing ever. I was like, finally I can be on my own clock. I don't have to start with these other yahoos taking me out. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I just felt like when I ran the starts and they were heads up, like, I was just like, oh, great. What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
And it was just something for me that really changed RC for me because I felt like now I could truly concentrate on my own 4 or 5 minute run, and it was a little more up to me. And when the start, it's like, all right, you get to a main event. Yeah, I can take if I qualified 5th or 8th or whatever. That's my spot. Sure. I take my chances. But sure, if you TQ, you're out front. That's where you want to be. But yeah, those random qualifiers and front row, middle row, back row, because what they do, 3-4-3 grid, I think is what it was. So you had 3 on the front row, 4 in the middle row, 3 in the back row. Yeah, so that's 10. And it was brutal. I mean, I see guys now that race at the Roar Nationals. We were just at that race, and they'll crash on the first lap, and they're just, you can tell that right away they're over it, And that's an IFMAR qualifier, you crash on the first lap. Can you imagine getting plowed onto the outside sweeper on your first lap by somebody, and talk about little mini meltdowns. But it is exciting. But man, I don't know I think people aren't 100% sure what they would be signing up for doing that.
It'd be fun. Let's bring it back. Sounds great.
Man. And and that's the other thing is people, arguments at the track, and confrontations, and all that whole system just promotes more confrontations.
Man, I don't really remember a problem back then, like with arguments like that, but I guess, maybe.
Well, I think it would be worse now.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be as bad until they got home and they were on their phone and their computer. Right? Because then you're going to have videos, and there'll be videos of the races and people going, rewinding it back. And we just ran that Turf Nationals and in Connecticut, which was a great race. Had a good turnout, had fun, had a brutal, nasty jump. I mean, the biggest jump I've ever jumped.
Really?
Any RC race. I mean, it was a monster jump. I forget what it was. It had to be 35 feet long.
Good Lord.
And I had a pretty good first day on it, on the jump, and I had a good first qualifier Sunday morning, and after that, didn't make it anymore. I was done.
Crap the bed.
Yep. I couldn't do it. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, so going back to that race, and Spencer actually won both classes, but the 4-wheel drive class, Alex K was leading, and caught up to some traffic. Traffic got into him, made the race a lot close enough to where Spencer was able to kind of throw it in on Alex and make a couple moves and make it a race. And Alex really probably should have won. But going into the last lap, Spencer made a move, got into Alex, and it was one of those questionable if it, either could go either way type of thing. But it wasn't, we barely got back turn marshaling or back on the road, and the guy's already got the videos up looking at him. The guy's got the video up going, look at this, look at this, look at this. And today with the videos, it makes it that much easier to bring up everything. Except, back then we didn't have videos of all these club races and all that kind of stuff, and you just were like, I think this is what happened. And the way you remembered it. And now it's like, you're reliving it right away. See, I knew this is what happened. Yeah. So next, like I said, next up on the calendar, Fall Indoor Nationals, King of Monster Trucks, Super Cup, Worlds. Paul's going to run the on-road state race this weekend. We got a new touring car body. He's going to be debuting out there, the A1R. I think it was last year we introduced our first body and kind of got our feet wet and, trying to take it a little further with the next body. And see what we can do. The part that's difficult about touring cars, you wish people would run, like when we started it, you ran the body that you like the looks of. And to me, that's what I don't like about a lot of how the racing goes is it eventually everything gravitates towards what works the best. Oh, this one works the best, or it's the fastest. And to me, that's what it gets to where it's just not as much fun for me. I like when people can run different stuff. Just like, hey, I want to run a Cadillac, or I want to run a Mazda, or I want to run, a Ford or whatever. I think that's cool. I think that's when it was really pretty fun, and it really appealed to a lot of different people because of that. And as it became like we said earlier, as it starts to transition to something that doesn't look like anything, it's really hard to get more people interested in it that aren't already in it. Of course, if you're already in it, you don't care what it looks like anymore as long as it's fast and quick. But when you started, it was important to you. So, but, that's where touring car is today, is, it was neat. You back then you'd go to the track and you'd start watching a race, and there are different cars and the races, and now it's like, everyone's got the same one. And if you're at a really crappy race, they're all one color paint jobs.
White.
Yeah. Painted body's a must.
So did you take a look at those 18 scale sprint cars that I sent over to our chat room?
I did. I didn't actually look at it without the body on it. I can look at it here while we're talking.
Pretty interesting. I don't know why.
What was the name of it again?
1RC, I think. Are you on Facebook?
I'm on. I see it here.
They have a Facebook page and I think YouTube, and they look cool, man.
1RC.
I don't even like sprint cars, but why do I like these? Why do I want one? Why?
You still like RC cars.
Man, I was like, this is crazy. So this is cool, man. Like, these guys, they set up this little oval track, run these sprint cars on there, and...
Yeah. I think this is a good idea in terms of this is something that's, I think, kind of cool to do if you're, you can do this for Australia customers. What the heck? Where are these guys from?
So anybody at 1RC Racing, want to hook me up with one?
Hook them up.
Yeah, come on, guys. I'm throwing out free advertising here. This is awesome. I was watching some of the videos they put out too. So it's 1RC Racing on Facebook. I was in our group chat. I was all about it this week, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I could see like 1RC sprint car. They have midgets and sprint cars. And you can get custom wraps done by a different company. I forget the name of the company. 1RC doesn't do the wraps, but I'd like to get a Radio Impound podcast. 18th scale sprint car. Yeah.
What's interesting about these things is they're really a lot smaller, I think, than most people think they are, too.
Yeah, they are.
They're tiny.
You see them in the video, it's crazy. But,
it is a fun little thing to do, I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's very, inexpensive.
I'm scrolling through them right now, so... You know what? I'm just in favor of people racing. I don't care what it is. It's like, get some of these. I don't, just do it,
Yeah, $179
The thing that's nice about this
one.
stuff is it's low cost. I mean, for a Mini, this is actually kind of expensive, to be honest.
Is it?
But yeah, I mean it's $200. I mean,
you get the radio and the car.
Does it come with a radio?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, I don't know if these guys.
I mean, that's still kind of expensive.
Yeah, because the
compared
radio,
to
I'm sure.
the big manufacturers. But yeah. I mean, if you're getting a radio, $200, wall charger.
I'm sure there's guys that try
somebody
these
had
things out, but what's that?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what everybody's gonna do.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to keep up then, but
Race City, USA.
we gotta make hot parts for this thing.
Little mini tires would be cool. Yeah, they got a lot of parts already.
So this weekend we have, what do we have for racing? Today is...
Well, Paul's going to be at the on-road state race this weekend, but and then we had the hot rod shootout. That's where the big boys will be running.
Jimmy Babcock, Laker fan. I wonder what he thinks about the whole LeBron situation there.
I'm sure he's loving it. Makes him relevant again.
Or if he renamed his dog from Kobe to LeBron.
All right, I got a good question for you.
Me?
Yeah. Let me think about this for a second. And now we've already discussed that it wasn't really the Lakers management that brought in LeBron.
Right.
He already wanted to go to LA. All they had to do was provide the paperwork. But anyway.
But Magic claims he got him there.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, this is their biggest signing they've ever had.
Ever?
Ever.
No.
Who's a bigger
Shaq.
Yeah, but at the time he wasn't a champion. LeBron's still bigger.
Oh, man, I don't know.
He's the bigger name. LeBron is the more famous, the bigger name than Shaq. I mean, I'm just going over this. I'm just going over this myself, and I'm like, this is the biggest signing they've ever had. I mean, Kobe they drafted, or they made a little trade and got him. Magic was part of the draft.
Well, Kareem came over with titles.
Kareem was traded. I think he was a trade.
Yeah. Boy. I was thinking Shaq was... I just remember that summer I was sweating.
Well, it was huge. I mean, that he decided
I was praying
to go to
God they would sign him. Literally, man, I was like, oh my God, I was just on pins and needles.
And they did. But, the only thing about LeBron is you're not... I don't know. It's just hard to say, but...
Well, we got him too late.
Well, yeah.
I already know that. I mean, if we could get one title out of him, that'd be great. But
that's the issue with LeBron, is it's a little late.
Yeah.
But, going by how he was doing last year, he looks fantastic. So
yeah, but he's in the West now, and now you got to go through Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna get to the finals this year? Next year? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think you're at least. I think they're looking at 2 to 3 years. They're going to be a contender.
That's the problem, because LeBron's window is...
Yeah, it's short, so you're only getting... Like I said, if I can get one title from him, I'll be happy about it. But I wish we would have got him, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. The part that's going to be unfortunate is if he's like some of these other players that are... that made that kind of big market move late in their careers, like Kevin Garnett and all that stuff, where he was just kind of he's like, I have no idea why I didn't do this sooner.
Yeah.
They're mad because they're like, man, why should have did this so much sooner, and it would have worked out better.
Just give me one title.
That's tough because you got that, you got with Golden State being so stacked. What really has to happen is some of the free agents have to fall, and
We have to get Leonard next year.
and I don't even know if that's enough, but maybe if Kevin Durant signed with the Lakers, if he signed with the Lakers, and then you got maybe like another, kind of two-way defensive guy, like, I don't know.
We're about a month away from the NBA season starting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Well, anyway, it was fun. Looking forward to the next podcast. I'm not even done with this one. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Another month from now.
I'm like Spencer when we're at the Roar Nationals, and he's like, we're like in the middle of qualifying, and he's like asking me, he's like, so what tires do you think we should get ready for the next race? I'm like, dude, we're in the middle of this race.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, why don't you concentrate on winning this one? Okay.
Dude's always thinking ahead, man.
Yeah.
It's a Patriot way.
Bill Belichick.
Actually, it's not the Patriot way. They're never looking ahead. They're in the moment.
Living in the moment.
All right. Well, this is a big milestone, episode 180. So there you go.
20 more.
20 more to go, and we are done. Finished. Shut it down.
That's it. 20 more podcasts.
20 more. It's going to take 2 years, so.
Nah.
We'll get there. We'll get on these streaks, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get on a run.
I tell you what, it's so hard to, like...
If you can knock 4 or 5 out, if you knock like 4 or 5 out and you're only down to 15, that's a big deal.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get on a streak here soon. I think there was times we used to record... We recorded 2 in 1 week, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to doing that.
Yeah, it's just hard. Like, I don't know, it's just really tough. And then like when you take a week off, you're like, there's times like if you go somewhere race or whatever, and then I kind of lose motivation, and then I'm like, we'll record Friday or Thursday, and then we don't, and then we're like, and the time goes by so fast. Next thing you know, it's 4 weeks since your last recording. It's amazing. It really is. It just flies by. And but you know what? I was like, yeah, you know what are we still getting for downloads? Nothing's changed. We still have the same 10 listeners.
We're really happy that they're sticking with us too.
All right, episode 180 in the books. Visit jconcepts.net. Show them some love.
Got a lot of action on social media last couple weeks, doing inside looks, articles, new features,
Videos.
updating videos. We got a lot of stuff happening.
Got a blog there out about your new tires.
Mm-hmm.
Go read that. Check it all out. Show Jason some love.